This is the Lokomotiv Stadium, where the local side have really grown in stature in Russian football. For many years behind Spartak, Dinamo, CSKA and even Moscow Torpedo. But now they're making a name for themselves in Europe as well. They build their defence around the captain and sweeper, Chugainov, though one key defender, Solo Martin, is missing. The wing-backs Lavrik and Gurenko played against Italy for Belarus at the end of last month. And we've got two of the Cup Winners' Cup most successful strikers, Janashia and Bulyikin. Their opponents, Lazio, certainly have striking power of their own, Vieri and Salas. De La Peña, a big money signing from Barcelona, gets a rare start in midfield. Mihailovic, last summer's acquisition from Sampdoria, is one of the world's supreme set-piece specialists. Well, in many ways, Lazio are favourites to get through to the final. They have a fantastic domestic record, 17 games unbeaten in Serie A. They lead the Italian league. And they come here at a time where the Russian season is only just beginning in terms of league football, with Lokomotiv playing their first league game and drawing away from home. But of course they've had a Cup Winners' Cup quarter-final to negotiate against Maccabi Haifa, and here they are pressing on with the shot by Halashov. So they're not exactly short of match practice. Smetin, the long-haired and very talented midfield player with an attacking eye, sent forward by Cherevchenko. And we'll see how the millionaires from the Italian league adapt to life in this small ground. Salas. Here's Lombardo, who's back in Italian football after a short and rather strange spell in England with Crystal Palace. Almeida, the Argentinian. Negro, and then Pancaro playing a part on that far side as well. Slightly different styles here between the two sides. That's a good layoff by Janashia, of whom much is expected. Svennis Eriksson, who is a very nice man and an extremely talented football coach with a wonderful European record, beginning with his days back in Gothenburg, his native Sweden, in the early 80s. Forward by Drozdov, the number 3, who's in the centre of midfield. There he is, linking up with Smetin. Well, it's a good try. Ambition early on from Lokomotiv here, encouraging the local support. This Moscow side reached the Cup Winners' Cup semi-final last season as well. That's where they were stopped by Stuttgart. Janashia linking with Smetin again. 10 is Lavik. Well, it's not been quite the sort of authoritative start that Lazio would have been hoping for. The Lokomotiv coach, Yuri Shemin. And he's got plenty to be proud of. Vieri. He's got his season going after an injury-hit start with plenty of goals recently in Serie A. He missed most of the football from the start up until the turn of the year for Lazio, and that's a little bit nervously turned away by Chugainov. It's not the easiest playing surface to negotiate here. Well, Mihailovic to try and weave his magic from a corner. Look at the bend on that. The header by Vieri. Vieri again. Well, that's a real escape for Lokomotiv. Wonderful corner, terrific header from Vieri off the bar, and terrific reactions from the Italian World Cup star as well, and he was pretty unfortunate that that second header didn't drop in. Mihailovic. De La Peña. Looking for Lombardo. There's no Nedved in the Lazio lineup today. There is Lombardo, and that was awkward for the goalkeeper, Nigmatulin, who really couldn't afford too much of a fumble there as the ball bounced in front of him. Shrewdly done by Lombardo, others following in, and the goalkeeper played his part well for the home side. Turgainov to Arifulin, who wastes no time hoisting it long. Two strikers looking to combine here. Here's Janashia with 5 goals. He's the tournament's leading scorer. He's a little bit tubby, but he's very talented. Almeida. Lazio reached a European final last season. In the UEFA Cup, they were beaten by their local rivals, Inter, from Italy. De La Peña. Mihailovic. Such range in his passing from the back as well, looking for the head of Vieri. It might spin Vieri's way. Christian Vieri, who spent some of his life in Australia. His father, a former professional player, to wind down his career. Lombardo tucking infield, haven't seen too much of that so far. Salas, Vieri! Well, it was an acrobatic save by Nigmatulin. Not sure, and maybe those on the bench would concur, that it was truly struck by Vieri, but he got it on target. Not an easy ball to hit. Turned away by Nigmatulin. Schmetti comes from a famous footballing family in these parts. Malachov. Malachov again. Lavrik. Lazio working hard when Lokomotiv are in possession to force the home team back, but they've kept the ball very well, and they've got Schmertin on it in some space. It's a good run from the young midfield player, linking up with Janashia. Still Schmertin. And in the end, Pancaro happy to hack it away. Well, Lazio finding opponents here who are not, look at that, I was going to say not showing them too much respect, and that's a compliment to Lokomotiv. And the capacity of Janashia in particular to fashion something unlikely. Look at that, that was a great effort, and Marchegiani happy that it dropped within range. Been a good first half this from Lokomotiv, but they haven't got a goal to show for it. Marchegiani, who's recently been recalled to the Italian national squad. He played in the '94 World Cup finals, you might recall. Capacity here around 30,000. De La Peña. Taken on by Favalli. That should be the goalkeeper's ball. Nigmatulin learnt his trade with Spartak here in Moscow without really breaking into the first team on a regular basis. Well, I think Sven-Göran Eriksson will be pleased to get his team in at half-time, and had some quite strong words with them about the way that they've conceded ground in this first half. But most important for him and his players, they haven't yet conceded a goal. What we have seen in 45 minutes here in Moscow is the quality that has taken Lokomotiv into the semi-finals of the Cup Winners' Cup. 0-0 at half-time. Well, some disquieting news for Lokomotiv fans at the start of the second half. The team has had to make a change, and it's Smertin, who played so well in the first half, who hasn't come out for the second half. One can only assume that that's an injury. And Dmitry Loskov is the replacement, wearing number 14. Lokomotiv, who've beaten CSKA Kiev, Sporting Braga from Portugal, and the Israeli club Maccabi Haifa to get to this semi-final. And Janasha, who got a hat-trick in the home leg of the quarter-final against the Israeli club, straight down the business at the start of the second half. And Lokomotiv have a corner. Which they work short. This is Gorenko. On the back heel, not quite coming off initially. Cherevchenko, rather wrong-footed there. Janasha. Well, he doesn't need any second bidding for a shot. And I'm sure there are scouts all over Europe just plotting and watching to see how he develops. 23 years old, Jaja Janasha. He's a Georgian by nationality, playing here in Russia. Salas from Chile. Well, 0-0 would suit Lazio to take back to Rome for the second leg in 2 weeks' time. That's as we stand at the moment. But Janasha trying to change that, and the chance, and a good one it was for Harlachov. Greater danger being posed by the home side again. Lavrik. And frustration. He doesn't hide his emotions. Yuri Shemin. Janasha this time setting it up. And the Harlachov really having checked inside there. It was a good save by Marchegiani, but the reaction on the bench said it all, really. He shouldn't have been given the chance to make the save. Lombardo. The flag was up. A bit more promising, though, from Lazio, who've been rather economical, shall we say, in their play. French referee Gilles Vessier really got some plus marks recently for his handling of the quarter-final of the Champions League second leg between Inter and Manchester United. Janasha, he's away here. Still Janasha, he's done it! With the trademark somersault as well. Well, the goal has been coming, the threat has been there, and Jaja Janasha, make a note of the name, it's his 6th goal in the Cup Winners' Cup this season. And Lazio's defence, which has been pretty strong in Serie A as they've climbed the heights and stayed there, was found wanting. Lokomotiv 1, Lazio 0. Well, this must surely necessitate some change from Lazio. But all the ambition continues to come from Lokomotiv. Well, the substitution is going to be Boksic for Vieri. Great deal of interest in Moscow about Christian Vieri coming here to play. Well, they've only had 65 minutes of it. Boksic, who missed the World Cup with injuries, hardly had any football since then. Taken on with the confidence that the home side have shown really throughout here. It's a tremendous run, and this time Bulyikin determined not to be upstaged by Shinashia, and it's a corner for Lokomotiv. A second goal now, and they would change the odds. And Lazio hanging by a thread here, back by Gurenko. And Stankovic can let it run, and Lazio can draw breath and regroup. 1-0 down, so nearly 2-0 down. De La Peña. Janascia. That's a good header on by Boksic to Stankovic. Mancini, Boksic! Well, it's a move of quality, and it's not really in keeping with Lazio's performance, but it's certainly in keeping with their reputation. And what a moment for Alen Boksic, who's had so many tribulations with injury, and here he is, sent on to try and help Lazio, and he's done just that. 1-1. Substitutions that have really paid off for coach Eriksson. Mancini played a part, and Boksic scored. Looking for more thrust here, and it's certainly taken some of the wind out of the Lokomotiv sails. I can use a nautical analogy for a team that's run by the Russian Ministry of Railways. Boksic again, and he nearly overpowered Nigmatulin. Well, in the context of the match, Boksic has done brilliantly for Lazio. Very important. Also in the context maybe of the running of the Serie A season to have him back. This is a fine break by Maminov. Oh! And just away from that far post. Borodyuk. In stoppage time. It's been an enthralling semi-final first leg, really to whet the appetite for the return in Italy in a couple of weeks. Well, it's the strength in depth, maybe, that's helped Lazio here, with players of the calibre of Boksic and Mancini to come on for Vieri and Salas. Lokomotiv trying to regain their lead. Gurenko. Still the ball sticks with him into the 4th minute of stoppage time now. Well, the promise of goals was there in the first half, and they've materialised in the second. But Lokomotiv Moscow will be disappointed that they've only seemingly managed the one. From a very positive display at home. They've still got time here, although we must be dealing in seconds before the final whistle. Gurenko again. Borodyuk, the veteran, 36 now. I don't know how many of these spectators will be able to go to Italy for the second leg, but they've had good value for their involvement in the first here. But I think in the end, ultimate disappointment that Lokomotiv haven't made more of the night and more of a well-rounded display, guided by Shulganov's organisation at the back. And that's it, it's finished 1-1. The goals coming in the second half. Janashia adding to his growing reputation. And then Alan Boksic on as a substitute, back in business. It's finished Lokomotiv 1, Lazio 1.